Hey everyone, it's Emily, and welcome to another episode of Designer Renovations. In our usual designer renos fashion, we're going to kind of start off by introducing the family who lives in this house, and this house was created by, actually her username on YouTube is, I think, Simming with Pro. She has a YouTube channel now, so at the time that she requested this, I don't believe she did, but she does now, and she's posted a few things in my self-promo channel on my Discord too, so if you want to check out her channel, she makes videos, and I think she actually renovated this house on her own before I had a chance to get to it, because this was almost a month ago, I think, that this was submitted. So like I said last time, I think that I'm going to be going back and forth between some of the newer ones and some of the older ones and just kind of alternating so that we get a good mix, and I can hopefully get to more of them that way, and people feel like submitting one at this time is still worth it because I won't be quite as backed up since I'll be alternating a new one and an old one. So now we're back to an older one, and like I said, I think that she renovated this on her own actually, because when I went to search for the house, there were two versions of the same house, like it had the same name on the gallery, and she had requested a modern house, and this house was more modern than the other one, so I'm guessing that she renovated it on her own, and I kind of took that into consideration with this because I decided that maybe the brother who was a toddler when this was first made is now a child, so I made a child's room, and then maybe the teen daughter is a young adult. I still made her room kind of more teen-ish, but I think a young adult who was still living at home could live there too, and I just kind of kept a few things in mind when I did this because I wasn't sure if they had gotten further in this family and might not have needed all the things that there were in the original renovation. So anyway, this house was originally for 4 Sims, but now it's for 5 because when they first submitted it, they did not have the baby boy who was going to be the toddler that was in this new renovated house. But sorry if this is really confusing because honestly, I didn't even know if I should bother doing this, but the reason why I decided to anyway is because this house only uses the base game. So I wanted to do a renovation that not only challenged myself to go for a different style than normal, which I don't do modern super often, and especially not this type of modern super often, but I also don't restrict myself to only the base game very often, so I thought that this was a good chance to do that, and even if this renovation is kind of pointless for the person that I'm doing it for, I'm sure that someone who only has the base game or doesn't have a ton of packs will appreciate another base game build. So I thought we would just go ahead with it for the sake of doing a base game reno. But the husband is an astronaut. He's very geeky and ambitious and very serious about his career and his family too. And the wife is a stay-at-home mom, but she loves cooking, so I made sure to give her a nice big bright kitchen, and she is very family oriented, and they are a cute couple, and their teen daughter is an A student and really into painting, and she wants to be a professional painter, but her dad wants her to focus more on schoolwork. And I didn't really put anything in the house to show that aspect because honestly I'm not really sure how. Ooh, if you have any cool ideas of like how you would show that type of parent-child dynamic in the house, let me know because I would actually be interested, because I couldn't think of any way to show that in the house, but I did give her a very artsy room, maybe having a desk somewhere in the house that's supposed to be like her desk for schoolwork, I don't know. But she also is not very girly and she's a bit of a mess, so I did put some messy clothes on the floor in her room, and the husband's brother just moved in with them and he's a photographer and plays the guitar as a hobby. I'm guessing he had his camera and his guitar in his personal inventory because there wasn't either of those things in the house, and I didn't want to spend any of the budget giving it to them if if, you know, he already had them in his inventory, because those are kind of pricey items in the game. So I just left that alone, but I did redecorate his room a little bit, made it a little bit more bright, because if he's a photographer and a musician, I feel like he probably has a bright personality, you know? So we did that to his room, and then he has some commitment issues, so he probably won't be getting into a relationship anytime soon. So I figured he was probably going to be kind of like camped out at their house for a while. So his room he has a pretty small room. I'm assuming that they probably just stuck him in what was supposed to be the guest room, but now over time he's kind of decorated it to his own tastes because he isn't planning on going anywhere anytime soon. And also just wanted to point out, we're now onto the inside, and this renovation is way shorter than I thought it was going to be, but the outside of the house was a cool shape, and I think the fact that it was already renovated to be the modern house helped anyway, because the original house wasn't modern at all, so that probably would have taken me a really long time to renovate, but this one was pretty fast. And I also did go in after doing the entire outside and inside, and I decided to change the whole color scheme of the outside, so you'll see that in the screenshots, because I just switched some color swatches around and stuff. But yeah, just wanted to mention that. And as usual, I placed all of the items that the family owned already into the house, and now we're going in and adding the new stuff. So let me know if you guys want to see the whole process. I think with some houses, depending on how much I change them, it takes a long time to show all of that. So I do like to cut out when I'm going through rooms and like the camera's flying all over the place, but if anyone really wants to see that, I would consider putting it in, but I haven't gotten any complaints yet, so I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. But I always love feedback and constructive criticism, so if you have any input on how I do these, or if you want them to be longer, see more of the process, you know, just let me know. But moving on, or not moving on, but going back to the story, the brother, blah blah blah, so, it would be great if you could build a toddler room in the house because they're planning for another baby, and then they put a little edit at the bottom that said, the baby is born and it's a boy, so they think that he'll take after his dad and enjoy science a lot. So, like I said, I made his room into a kid's room now in case they do want to use this house, if they're still playing with this family, and if they've gotten to the point where maybe the baby is now a kid. And I put a science table in his room, and I left a few kids stuff around the house, but I figured he's probably the only child in the house, and honestly he might not even be a child anymore, so I wanted it to be easy to change into a house that was for teens and up, you know, you probably wouldn't have toys everywhere, so I didn't put too much of that, but I did use one of those crazy bear chairs because I think they're funny and cute, and I left in the toddler bookcase because I thought that they needed a fun little family bookcase in the house. And then a modern style house, they're planning on another baby. Oh yeah, I already read that. And please try to keep the furniture that's already in the house. I used a lot of the same furniture, but there were a few things that I changed just because I noticed that I actually looked at both versions of the house and I noticed that some stuff had changed anyway. So I figured that anything that had changed from the first version to the second version, it wasn't too big of a deal if I decided to change it because that wasn't from the original house that was even supposed to be renovated. So, yeah, I just kind of did what I want with that. Sorry if I ruined your house with new furniture, but I kept most of the beds the same, I think. That might be a lie because I did change the age of some of the kids in my head, but that's okay. And the budget, I actually made up my own budget because they said that the budget was 80,000 simoleons and the house should, they meant that in the sense that the house should only cost 80,000. And I think their original house was 60,000. And I noticed that their renovated version of it on the gallery was about 80,000. So I gave myself an extra 20,000 to work with. So the house is around 100,000 simoleons, I think, which is still very doable in the game. But yeah, I was just thinking that this would be a slight upgrade from the other house, especially, like I said, if this person's been playing with the family for a while since they requested this, and now they've maybe made some more money since they renovated the house themselves, and then they could always move into this house if they wanted or not. That would be totally cool. But yeah, I didn't do too much with the front entrance area because I honestly didn't know what to put there, but I thought that this house, especially with these renovations, since I'm making them for people to actually play with in the game, I tend to clutter up other builds for looks a lot, but with these, I'm kind of going more towards the, not minimalist, but like more practical for gameplay type of style, unless someone specifically requests doing it in the usual cluttered way that I do things, I'll probably try to make it a little bit less jam-packed with stuff, just because I want people to actually be able to play in the houses and enjoy playing in them. And I think that this house, you could definitely do that. I think that it's a pretty good layout. The bedrooms for the kids are kind of small, but I blame that on the uncle moving in because if the uncle wasn't there, if this were just a 3-bedroom house, they would be like decent sized bedrooms, but the uncle just really cut the size of the other rooms down a little bit. Like the teen daughter is in a pretty tiny room, but like I said, she might not even be in the household anymore because she might be a young adult and maybe she doesn't even live there and her room is totally pointless. Who knows? I don't know. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And once again, sorry this is so short. I wasn't expecting it to be. And like I said, the outside of the house was just a good shape. And I did cut out a lot of stuff where I was changing wallpapers and things like that, just because it took me a while to finally get the color scheme that I wanted. And I think that that's what made the video short, because most of my time was just being super indecisive about tiny things that I felt like wouldn't be interesting to show. So yeah, but I hope that you're having a great day, and like I said, hope you enjoyed, and make sure to join my Discord if you haven't already, just so you can hang out and chat with me. Someone's dog just had puppies, so if you want to see some cute puppy pics, definitely join the Discord because there are tons of them in the general chat. That's what's been going on today. But also, if you want to submit a house for renovation, you can do that in my Designer Renos channel. And yeah, that's all I have. Thanks for watching. Bye!